Welcome. Here is a rundown of war in Ukraine. Ukraine's Zelensky says Russia's big revenge has begun. Russia has begun its big revenge for Ukraine's resistance to its invasion, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has said, as Russian forces claimed a series of incremental gains in his country's east. Zelensky has been warning for weeks that Moscow aims to step up its assault on Ukraine after about 2 months of virtual stalemate along the front line that stretches across the south and east. While there was no sign of a broader new offensive on Monday, the administrator of Russian-controlled parts of Ukraine's eastern Donetsk province, Denis Pushilin, said Russian troops had secured a foothold in Volodar, a coal mining town whose ruins have been a Ukrainian bastion since the outset of the war. Zelensky said Russian attacks in the east were relentless despite heavy casualties on the Russian side, casting them as payback for Ukraine's success in pushing Russian forces back from the capital, northeast and south earlier in the conflict. "I think that Russia really wants its big revenge. I think they have already started it," Zelensky said. And sources continue to indicate Russia preparing for imminent offensive. Western, Ukrainian, and Russian sources continue to indicate that Russia is preparing for an imminent offensive, the Institute for the Study of War said in its latest update. According to the DC-based think tank, these sources support the ISW's assessment that a Russian offensive in the upcoming months is the most likely course of action. The update cited NATO Secretary Jens Stoltenberg, who stated on January 30 that there are no indications that Russia is preparing to negotiate for peace and that all indicators point to the opposite. Stoltenberg also said that Russia may mobilize upwards of 200,000 personnel and is continuing to acquire weapons and ammunition through increased domestic production and partnerships with authoritarian states such as Iran and North Korea. Head of the Council of Reservists of the Ukrainian Ground Forces, Ivan Tymako, said that Russia is strengthening its forces in Ukraine's eastern Donbass region as part of an anticipated offensive meant to score points amid domestic pressure in Russia for a victory in Ukraine after a series of failures on the battlefield. Russia is concentrating its main efforts in the eastern Donbass, where it is still waging the fiercest battles, Yevhen Yarin, a spokesman of the Southern Operational Command of Ukrainian Forces, said on January 30. The Russian Defense Ministry said in its January 30 briefing that its forces were conducting offensives around the town of Volodar in the central western part of Donetsk Oblast. Meanwhile, Russia deployed more troops and military equipment to its Kursk Oblast, which borders Ukraine.